So I've got to find a sweet spot for this rose, and I'm thinking I kind of want it centered in front of the Japanese maple here. Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. If you're new to my channel, you'll want to know that this is two beds that we have combined into one, and we have a lot of fun perennials that we're going to be planting up. It's a full sun bed, so very exciting. I've grown a lot of them from seed, but I've also bought some additional plants as well. If you'd like to see the video that showed how we prep this bed, there'll be a link at the end of this video. I'm so grateful you're joining us, and I'm sure you can tell that this has been dug. My microphone wasn't working. It should be hilarious, so just hang in there. I fell in love with this morning light maiden grass. The variegated foliage is so beautiful, and I feel like just in general, ornamental grasses, they add movement and interest. So I think this is going to look great in the front yard here. It's hardy in zones 5 through 9. It's full to partial sun and blooms in the late summer. So it can get as tall as 5 feet tall. The plumes can reach up to 6 feet, and then it gets 3 to 4 feet wide. So I think I want this ornamental grass to be on the border, but at an angle so that the dark Japanese foliage behind it is a real beautiful contrast between the two. So I am adding additional expanded shale in this hole just because ornamental grasses prefer drier soils. So I just want to make sure that there's no standing water in this area. I'm also going to plant it just a little bit above ground level, again, just to help with the drainage and make sure the roots aren't sitting in water. I don't want root rot or anything like that. I'm super excited about these earthworm castings. I found this huge bag at Green Acres for a pretty good price. And if you're gonna garden on a budget, I would save the money on the plants and invest in the soil. So I just want to amend my soil again, specifically for the rose. I'm adding the earthworm castings and some rose tone when I plant it. Okay guys, well I said I bought one grass, but I actually bought two. I felt like it would look really good to have just a couple of these grasses on the side of the yard here, but I am going to replace the grass that's here in front of the drift roses with the variegated. I thought it might be a nicer contrast. I feel like the other grass, the green kind of blends in with the drift roses. So I'm going to dig that one up and find another spot for it. We have been getting so much rain, and there's actually standing water in this hole, pooling at the bottom of this grass. I'm actually going to go ahead and add some more expanded shale. You know, I can never say that. I guess you guys have figured that out by now. Expanded shale. So I'm looking at this plant and tempted that it can probably be divided. But as much as I would want to divide it, I don't have another spot for it just yet. So I think I'm going to sit tight with just one big, beautiful grass and save the divisions for future years. All right, well, I think that looks so much better. It definitely stands out now. Having the two grasses on the same side like that, I think it's really going to help keep the eye moving. I'm really excited about this dianthus. So after doing research, the reason I bought it was because it read like it could really handle the heat. So we will see. I also like the hot pink color and kind of feel like it's going to work well next to this dusty miller. And then the homestead verbena, I feel like I'm going to line the front of the bed on this curve here with the purple. And so we'll have the purple in the front and then the hot fuchsia behind it. So I just need to play around with this and figure out exactly how this is going to work. I'm just going to create a trusty old triangle with this dianthus, and then this grass is going to have to go into another bed. So the old bed had a rounded edge here, and so everything that is rounded along there, Salvia greggii, I have some amazing daisies, some liatris. I'm going to need to dig all of that up and go ahead and arrange it into different drifts and start combining it into this bed. So this salvia followed the edge of the bed, and it is a hot pink salvia, although it looks red on the camera. So I would like to go ahead and dig up those that are on the right side of the bed and move them into a drift up here by this boulder. And look at this gorgeous boulder. I actually dug this up. This was in our dirt. Can you believe that? So we found so many beautiful rocks because of the rocks on our home. They just buried most of them. So we were able to recover some gorgeous boulders. So as you can see, I have some liatris, amazing daisies, the salvia greggii, chrysanthemums, and then my denim and lace sage right there in the middle. I think I'm going to put the denim lace on the other side of the bed. I'll be able to divide those amazing daisies. I should be able to get 2 or 3 plants out of that. So I'm excited to give these guys more space. They deserve it. Gotta get these salvias dug up. They've been in here for many, many years now, so I expect the roots to be pretty extensive. So I have a total of 5, and I am going to use biotone on those that I dug up. Summer's coming, so these roots really need to get established quickly. Gosh, this already looks so much better. I think I like the verbena lined up where it is, so I think that's a go for sure. So here is the amazing daisies, and look at the size of this thing. So it's about, I want to say 4 years old. So I can probably divide this into 2. I don't want to make it too small. You can see my other 3 behind me. So I'd like it to be around the same size. I have no idea what I'm saying here, but I look pretty serious and it looks really important. So I feel like I need to keep this in here. And, you know, dubbing can be fun, right? When it's done correctly. Let's just pretend I'm saying something super inspiring and super educational here, and we'll go with that. So thankfully this daisy just falls apart in the middle, so the separation is going to be pretty easy here, but otherwise you would just kind of look for a natural separation. And again, I just always use a serrated knife and just cut straight down. Great. Well, that was successful. It looks good. I didn't cut off any parts of the daisy. Always plan to use biotone when you replant a transplant, just to get your roots kick-started, or at least just use a root fertilizer. Well, I've got 3 of them already planted up, and I need to go ahead and get these 2 in, the 2 transplants. Oh, this one's falling apart. I'll maybe have to add some supports or something. So this will be a nice drift of 5 right here. It's going to look really good. I just have to be careful when I dig that I don't hit the drip. Well, I'm going to fill these holes up with lots of goodies. Because the gutter kind of drains out into this area, I just want to make sure that the drainage is good. So I'm going to add the expanded shale. I'm going to put biotone since I split these roots up, and also some earthworm castings just to amend this dirt. This dirt has been here, so it's existing and it hadn't been amended deeply like the rest of the bed. All right, so I am going to shear off some of this unshapeliness that happened when I cut it, and then also just take off some of the blooms and help this guy get a jump start. So this one's a lot better. It's not falling apart all over the place. So I just had these things lined out earlier because I wanted to transplant all of those existing things that were in my bed before I started planting the dianthus. And so I'm pretty happy with the way everything looks. The verbena's planted. I think the layout's going to be great. So I'm going to go ahead and get these dianthus in the ground, and we'll see how they look. So I'm really liking the way it's shaping up, but I do have this huge hole here where the daisies were. So I think I need to go ahead and dig up the liatris on the other side and group that all together in this area. And I obviously need to take my denim and lace out of the center there. And let me show you, as I come around this way, I'm pretty happy with how this is all shaping up. My rose already has blooms on it. This thing is pretty amazing how it performs. Look at all the buds. I said blooms, you know I meant buds, but look at that. Isn't that amazing? What a fighter. So as I come around this way, I think everything looks really, really great. The drifts are coming together. I do have a couple of cleome that reseeded from last year, so I'm excited about that, and I think I'm going to put those in that empty space right there behind the homestead verbena. So all together, it's looking exciting. I do feel like I need to add some height in this bed somewhere, so I'm going to have to think about that. All right, well, I'm going to call it a day and see if I can go find something to add some height here. I found this gorgeous juniper, but I've got to dig up this denim and lace first. So I'm going to put it behind here and get a nice contrast from these gorgeous dianthus that are starting to come into bloom. I'm kind of excited about that. So I think we're just going to put it right behind here. And unfortunately, I just have good soil in this area, so it's going to have to be okay with good soil. We will see what happens. Again, I'm careful since I put in all this wonderful drip irrigation. I'm loving this blue point juniper. It's going to look gorgeous. So there were ants all up in my lantana here, and that's probably just because they were sitting in the garden for so long. So I'm just going to sprinkle some of this into the plant and work it in. That's disappointing. It's probably not a great way to get this plant started. You guys see my bigger boulder that we dug up? So this was right over there. We moved it here. Look how pretty that is. It's huge. And then I picked up the smaller boulder that we found in the dirt, and it's over here. So I'm gonna put both lantanas near this boulder. So this one will just go right here. We'll see if this lantana survives that was probably pretty traumatic for it. The other one right here. All right. Let's hope this one's not full of ants. Oh, it is. Oh my goodness. They look like they just made themselves at home in the roots. All right, so this lantana is Lantana Irene. I'll put the label up on the screen. Height 10 to 24 inches. Water when dry. Mounted habit, full sun. This one's an annual. I think the border's a good place for it. It doesn't get the same amount of water, so I think it might drain quickly. we will see. All right, guys, so the last thing for today is the Mystic Spires. And I have 6 total. And I think this gorgeous blue bloom is going to look amazing with the yellow daylily here behind the abelias. And so this variety, it gets 10 to 36 inches, water when dry, hardy to -40, and blooms late spring to fall. So I would love to have blooms that lasted that long. So we will see if that is truly the case. I think what I'm gonna just do is just dig the holes, set the pots in it, and make sure that they all look good where I have them placed. So. Guys, I have a serious roly-poly problem in my yard. Mostly just, we've gotten so much rain lately, but this is what I use, this diatomaceous earth. I have the link in my Amazon storefront, but these are the verbenas that I just planted, and they're already setting up shop underneath there. So I basically fill my little pump and pump it under the plant. And I've been trying to do most of my yard like this lately just because they are out of control and I have to do something. So I'm stepping back, and this is our new view. Doesn't that look amazing? And then this is what we're gonna have to be working on pretty soon. It's a pretty big area. And I'll probably just dig up most of this liatris and put it all over here and have more room for something else behind the daisies over there. So we're supposed to get a little bit of rain tonight, so I'm just gonna water these in just a bit and not too much, just in case we do get a lot of rain. But I can always water tomorrow if the rain never comes. We all know how that is. I think I'm gonna wait until next time to plant up my little seedlings. I want to think a little bit more about what I have and where I'm going to put them. So my crepe myrtle has gotten so big. See my crepe myrtle? Let me look up so you guys know what I'm dealing with. Yeah, pretty huge. So it'll determine every year as it's gotten bigger, it has kind of affected this spot more and more. So we'll see what happens here. And then I step back even more, and I have my abelias that I did a show on a few weeks ago. My 2 lantana. I dug up my super tunia that was right up there by the Gara and put them there. And then there's my beautiful blue juniper. So I am loving all of this contrast. Let me step back. All right, guys, be sure to drop a comment. Let me know what you think. And I am going to be putting up a front garden tour with the completed project. Everything's in bloom right now. It looks gorgeous. I hope you'll tune in. And as always, I'm just so grateful you joined me today. If you liked the video, give it that thumbs up, and then don't forget to subscribe. Turn on all those notifications so you never miss a video. So hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye.